Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Choir Leader Not in a Kayak. It's Friday, it's VE Day, it's the 75th anniversary of VE Day, and today's episode is all about scars, mending things, make, do, and mend, and a little bit about the moon. I hope you've had a really lovely week. I spent a lot of my week this week fixing things, and some things have been really frustrating and the outcome wasn't as I had hoped, but I shall persevere. And some things that I fixed this week have been things that have taken a really long time, but have been so rewarding to see the final result. So behind me, I'm going to move the camera a tiny bit and I'm going to zoom in on some stitches. So I'm sitting in my garden on some garden furniture which needs covering because in Great Britain we have a lot of rain, so it needs covering every night, and the cover that we have is quite old and it's quite worn, and the UV has made the material quite brittle, and because it's treated in quite a robust way, we fling the cover on and off, so understandably the cover has become torn, and over the winter the furniture got quite wet. So last weekend I decided that rather than spend a lot of money on a cover that we can't really afford at the moment because work has been quite compromised within our household, I decided to make, do and mend. So I took the cover and I sewed up by hand the big long gash through the cover. It's about 4 feet long, and the stitches that I showed you earlier are the hand stitches that I did one at a time very slowly in the sunshine last Saturday, and the whole process took me 4 hours, and it was very repetitive, but I felt that I was making tiny steps towards progress. And when I got to the end of fixing the cover, I felt so proud of myself. And I know that the cover is always going to be a little bit more fragile than it once was, and that I now have to treat the cover with a little bit more respect. And chances are those stitches that I've put into that cover, they're not going to last a long time, and perhaps in time I will be able to replace the cover, but for now I have to make, do and mend. In terms of my music projects this week, I've had moments of pure joy where I was able to connect with 2 other musicians, and for about 5 to 10 minutes we did make music in real time, and it was a really long process and it was really frustrating, and I went on to the platform with not a lot of hope because it hadn't really worked earlier in the week with other musician friends. So I was feeling a bit sad and I was preparing myself to feel a bit let down. But that moment when we were able to come together and see each other and make music and create harmony was so special that it gave me a real sense of renewed hope. So things that are broken take a lot of our energy and a lot of our patience to try to keep working at them and keep that feeling that if we invest the right amount of time patiently with the right equipment, we might be able to patch things up a little bit. Last night was the flower moon, and I sadly hadn't seen the supermoon back in April, and I was absolutely determined last night that I was not going to miss the flower moon in May of 2020. So I live in a very built up suburban area. I don't have the expanse of big vistas around me, but I really wanted to see that moon. So we have a Velux window in our loft, and so we climbed up together, and we have a little bit of flat roof. So myself and my 2 young adults in the house climbed through, and we waited and we watched and we saw the supermoon, and it was so worth the effort. Step by step, climbing, going up to great heights, doing unusual things to really try to have that little moment of glory that we all deserve. Today is about celebrating victories, however small they are. And I'm going to leave in the words of that amazing song, we will meet again, and I don't know where and I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Have a lovely, lovely bank holiday weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.